Hello everybody, Grey Wolf here, and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys enjoyed my little build showcase before this build overview. And with that, let's get right into it. So for my skill trees, this is pretty much a heavy green tree setup, pretty much the Infinite setup. Jakobs weapons synergize extremely well with anything that boosts gun damage or crit damage. This build is basically centered around trying to do as much damage in one shot as humanly possible. So basically, the setup is focused around getting as much crit damage as humanly possible into that one shot. And with this setup, you could basically one shot most mob enemies, two shot most bigger mob enemies. It's pretty good when it comes to bossing. Now, just a little footnote about that. When I'm bossing, most of the time, if it's not like a Ripper drill site or something like that, I will switch over to just regular UVHM 6. And for all mobbing content and drill sites and so on and so forth, I will run true UVHM 6 without any real problem here. So just a quick build rundown. Momentum, 5 out of 5 in it just for the crit damage bonus. There isn't anything really up here that really is good with the build or in general, really. So let's wait for my game to unfreeze because it must know that I'm doing a build video and, just wants to be difficult. So for neutron decay works all right with this setup. You're not going to naturally have like a natural element on your gun with Jakobs weapons for radiation. This will stack up if you do get the chance to irradiate enemies. If you do, you'll get up to 50% gun damage. If you wanted to switch it for mass function, I kind of went back and forth with these. Both seem to work really well, and the DPS difference isn't something that you'll really notice. 3 out of 3 in creative overflow, extra gun damage. Confirmative reality, action skill cooldown rates. Basically, because we're using high pellet count weapons, mostly shotguns, use these high pellet count, get your action skill back almost instantaneously. 4 out of 5 in gamma ray burst. So every time that I do another stack of group study, my next shot's going to do bonus radiation damage. This will help feed into neutron decay. 1 out of 5 here. The gun handling isn't really noticeable or pretty much useful with the build. I just needed this to get down to critical funding so that when I critical hit, I'm going to get some ammo back. This ties in well with excited state. Now, excited state will give you your full critical hit damage bonus when this goes off. And with group study being a little bubble that pretty much follows you around the whole time, you're going to be critting the entire time while group study is active. Excited state, critical funding, team up together, so on and so forth. Distribution function. Now, distribution function works really good with this setup because you're doing a lot of damage per trigger pull. So you're going to have overshield pretty much the whole time you're running this build. This is really good with like high damage single shot stuff. Works really good for this setup. Decoherence, I max this out and I get +4 from my class mod. I'll go over that in a minute. But this pretty much is good for bossing. The extra bonus damage is pretty much essential when you're bossing with a green tree setup. Works really good for single shot. Works really good in general. 5 out of 5 in latent charge. More bonus damage. Up to 50% of damage dealt. Really good. Again, you're going to be doing a lot of damage per trigger pull, so latent charge is going to give you a substantial damage boost. Now, I didn't take feedback loop naturally, but I do get +3 from my class mod. This just pretty much helps with a little added action skill damage and action skill duration, cooldown rate as well. So 1 out of 1 in one runaway reaction. So I had an extra point and I was kind of playing around with where I wanted to put this, and I noticed, I don't know if I'm necessarily correct about it, but I noticed that this helps spread the entangle quite a bit because you're going to get bonus elemental damage, cryo or radiation, mostly cryo because uh, with nuclear winter and group study, you're going to have a bubble around you the whole time. That's pretty much just going to give you bonus cryo damage. Sometimes you get knocked out of it, you get bonus radiation damage. But this is really good when the JAKOBS pellets ricochet, stuff like that. This will help you apply a status effect, not necessarily for damage, but just to spread the entanglement out. Uh, Now, one thing to note, nuclear winter will be boosted by skill damage. It will also be boosted by action skill damage. So the reason why I bring that up is if we go over, unequipped it like a dumbass, and let's put you back here. Okay, there we go. Let's go over here really quick. Make extraordinary. Harlow gains critical chance with all skills. This chance increases every time Harlow entangles an enemy. So a bunch of enemies get entangled, your critical hit chance go up. Now this applies to nuclear winter. Getting this to crit is a substantial damage bonus. Basically because, again, single trigger pull, high damage, bonus cryo damage will be high damage, and getting it to crit will be even higher damage. Just basically stacking damage on damage on damage. That's pretty much how you'll be able to run around, kill most things with a single shot, 2 shots, maybe 3 shots while your action skill is active. So, JAKOBS weapons. I don't need to explain to you why JAKOBS weapons are the cream of the crop when it comes to this game and other games in general, but just the ability to ricochet projectiles is great for spreading entanglement. It's also good for mobbing, good for, whatever, if you want to spread. Like I said, if we go over here, this with the JAKOBS ricochet will help you spread your entanglement quite a bit. So pretty much any JAKOBS weapon's going to work good here in slot. The TK's wave is by far the highest damaging for this build. 2,604 times 10. Pretty much any TK's wave will work with this setup. I have a high damage one, and I got the Atlas License Underbell. This works good for bossing. 7 cents. Any 7 cents will work in this one. I just so happen to have the Ripper Daedalus Shotgun one. This thing is an absolute beast. By far one of the highest damaging weapons in the game. Bonnie and Clyde, I don't even know what to say about this thing. This thing is just freaking nuts. The one I like to use the most, though, is the Ballard. Now, I have this one with the Daedalus Sniper Rifle ammo. Really, really good. And then I have another one. Let's go down here. You can see I have a lot of JAKOBS in my image. I have this one with the Torg License Impact. Now, I pretty much use this one for vile enemies because vile enemies are annoying as shit. But anything JAKOBS basically works well with this setup. Anything JAKOBS. For the class mod, so the Physicist is going to be the highest damage per shot that you're gonna take. So the Physicist buffs decoherence. Decoherence is great for bossing, and it's great for doing added entanglement damage or the damage share that you get from your action skill. You could also run the Savant class mod. The Savant class mod's good because it gives you boost to momentum, and momentum just gives you a flat critical hit damage bonus. Anything critical hit damage is going to factor very, very well into this setup. But pretty much if you run the Physicist the whole time, you're good. Watts for dinner, because amp has pretty much ruined every other shield in this game. Anything with amp on it, it's going to be the best. Watts for dinner gives you bonus shock damage, so more bonus damage when you have overshield. You're going to have overshield the whole time. Let me see, because I forget everything. With distribution function, you're going to have overshield pretty much the whole time, so you're going to get that bonus shock damage pretty much the whole time. Took bounce pass for second ricochet chance, but if you wanted to run like another JAKOBS enhancement, that's entirely up to you. They all work. Crit knife good. Crit knife good in general. Crit knife is the crit knife, but crit knife good for anything bonus damage related will actually allow the crit knife to give that the critical hit chance. They will not critical hit naturally, so crit knife good for pretty much just bossing. That's pretty much the only time I throw this thing. Everything else is already pretty much dead. Kill spring good. It's the only healing we have for this setup. On kill, converts 100% of any excess damage into healing orbs that seek out nearby enemies or allies. Excuse me. Accelerator. Now for the firmware, pretty simple. Deadeye. Deadeye gives you, well, bunch of crit damage, as you can see on the screen. Do I need to explain? But this will get factored into excited state. Excited state will give you your Deadeye bonus because excited state awards you all of your crit damage bonuses. High caliber took 2 out of 3 in this one. Projectile speed good, gun damage better. Now this gun damage is actually an on-shot bonus rather than added soup, as some famous YouTubers might put. Basically, this gun damage bonus is a different damage bonus than some of the other ones that are just all factored in together. So also, real quick, I might add your enhancements. You're going to want to find something with gun damage and then the weapons that you're using damage, because these are also their own factor into the damage formula. They made enhancements pretty much one of the only ways that you could really boost up your damage if you get the proper passives for like whatever weapons that you're using. And that's pretty much it for the setup. It's pretty straightforward stuff like that. It's not really reinventing the fucking wheel or anything like that. This is just like a crit damage Harlow setup with a JAKOBS overlay, and I have a lot of fun using it. So just want to show you real quick what the damage capabilities are, and then I'll leave you to your day. So this is just set on a 1-second timer right now. If we throw out the action skill, let's get 2 stacks. 2 stacks free. Wait for it. All right, at 2. So 4, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 7, 1 million, 1 3. Yeah, pretty good. Let's hold on here. Let's let our action skill die out really quick. Let me get it back. Let's get it back. See how quick we get our action skill back. So I'm going to let these tick out real quick. Now I'm going to set this dummy onto 10 seconds. Throw the action skill out. So let's click once, click twice, click twice, and now let's go to town. So, I mean, you can get yeah, I mean, the most I've got on the dummy and 10 seconds is about 42 million, but I mean, that's a cool 22 million without doing anything other than really just pulling the trigger. So, I mean, you could see the potency of the build. But that'll pretty much do it. I hope you guys like my video. If you do, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, which I feel really cliche saying that, but I could really use the help. I'm just a wannabe scrub YouTube guy trying to get some more subscribers. So, I mean, hey, give me a chance, man. Give me a chance. I appreciate your guys' time. Have a good day. Take care, everybody.